Yeah, hello everyone. Apologies for a little bit of a delay, but we are ready to go with Stratosphere 127. So exciting. It's a very good number. I do like that one. Um, but yeah, now this is me typing exclamation point bracket in chat so I can look at the bracket because I don't have it up yet. All right. Ooh, our one seed in this bracket is OSW, our two seed is Botchess, and our three seed is Gigawatt. So, very exciting bracket ahead of us. Some familiar names. But yeah, this also is a little bit of a smaller bracket, which means that, we'll get to see more of the matches that are being played. Very exciting, very fun. So, this is our first match here. We have Civ versus Interrogator. And as you can see, 8 seed versus 9 seed, adjacent seeds like we are used to seeing, means that we should hopefully have a close match here. Yeah, and let me get myself in the lobby so I can know when we're going to start. All right. Okay, so we are already off with our warm-up. My bad, I was still getting into the lobby, but we see Interrogator push up to the top here. Now Interrogator cleans up their board, and Civ is the one with all of the garbage. But Civ also does have a 7-8 back-to-back. They are going to have to break that right there at the top, but boy, is that not an easy board to work with. Interrogator not even affected by the surge break from Civ, and in fact, it's actually building up their own back-to-back. Civ is at the top of the board, still trying to find their down stack. They find what they need, and they start off this and set up a C-spin, which is really nice for this situation, but Interrogator still seems relatively unaffected, staying towards the bottom of the board, taking their time setting up their all spins. Civ breaks back to back right there, and they are again at the top of the board. Nice little I spin there from Civ, followed up by a J spin. So looks like we have an all spin merchant over here. Whereas Interrogator is just building up this back-to-back. There's that -8 appearing on Civ's board as Interrogator is just keeping this 6-3 stack. Interrogator gets pushed up to the top and releases the 18 surge. They don't really have too much follow-up because they're still pushed up at the top, and Civ is able to find the kill. Lovely. Cool. Very fun. All right, and we will work on getting this match to you soon. All right, and we are starting. Interrogator just types the GF, just GF, not good luck, have fun, and then Civ sends back a confused face. So that's fun. You know what I'm a little confused about right now is Interrogator's board state. This looks like a misdropped extended SDPC spin. I was too busy looking at the match chat, but I'm assuming that's what happened there. Civ is going to have the back-to-back advantage here as they are setting up a Kaidan. They don't really know what to do with that Z piece. They eventually find a spot for it, but in the meantime, Interrogator has cleaned up their board. They're at the bottom, starting that 6-3 up stack. And they send a little bit of cheese to Civ's side of the board. Civ now pushed up at the top, doesn't really have a lot of great options on how to get out, is not going to be able to find the all spins that I can feel they're looking for right now, and that is going to be first point for Interrogator. All right, Gasho on Civ's side with the all clear, and Interrogator was going for that extended SDPC spin. Interrogator misdrops that J piece, which isn't great, and the pieces in their queue aren't really conducive to what they need to fix, and Civ finds the kill in time to bring us to 1-1. All right, Gasho on Civ's side, Full Interrogator is setting up a C-spin. They are keeping their well from that C-spin into where they got their garbage, still getting garbage in that spot, trying to set up the dono, getting a little bit greedy, and that gives Civ a second point. All right, some extended going on Interrogator's side. What appears to be a misdrop turns into a TST, which is pretty cheeky. Interrogator gets themselves into a safe spot, and Civ breaks the back-to-back, probably going for the kill right there, but Interrogator finding their board in just the nick of time. Civ setting up some all spins here and trying to work through the garbage on their stack. Eventually settling in a 3-6. Interrogator misdrops that Z piece. And that is actually going to seal their fate and give a third point to Civ. All right. Gasho versus MS2 yet again. Interrogator not going for the back-to-back and just going for the quad with the combo. Civ with some nice back-to-back breaks it. And a little bit of cheese on Civ's board right now. Interrogator just going for the down stack, not really building up back-to-back right now. Civ finds that back-to-back and breaks it pretty much right away, which gives a little bit of cheese to Interrogator's Q that eventually makes its way to the board. Ooh, and yeah, that misdrop again on the Z piece from Interrogator. That is not fun. And Interrogator just types okay in the match chat. Nothing else, just okay. Civ being pushed up at the top of the board early, but has the pieces for the down stack. Interrogator is building up this back-to-back, has these 6 going right now, just chooses to break it. Civ finds their own back-to-back, but they're up at the top, and this is not looking good for them. I'm wondering, yeah, that L placement looks like a misdrop there. And that is going to give Interrogator a second point. All right, more extended on Interrogator's side. There's that C-spin part of the extended SDP C-spin. I believe that's the first time we've actually seen that C-spin executed, unless I just wasn't watching, which is very on brand. So Civ has the higher back-to-back between the two players and has to slow down a little bit for that all spin setup. And Interrogator misdrops a piece that's going to force them to break back-to-back, and they just do not have what they need to get out of that, and that is going to give Civ a pretty considerable lead in this first to 7. Gasho versus Stickspin first bag, going into extended. Civ with some lucky garbage that's going to give them a pretty free count to 4, and they do break back-to-back, which is going to force Interrogator to do the same. Civ with a nice Prophecy T-spin, but where is the T-piece? T-piece is missing, but it's found. Not in time to take the T-spin, though, which is very sad. Interrogator with a little bit of combo downstack, while Civ is forecasting some more T-spins. Yeah, sometimes that kind of forecast is just going to leave your board in a pretty inted state, and ooh, that Asmus drop from Civ is not what they were looking for, and that is going to give Interrogator a point. Interrogator staying through this. This is very much anyone's game right now. TKI versus extended, and that TKI does find the PC. Both players with that back-to-back. Civ is the first, or they both break back-to-back. Don't really know who was the first one to do it, but it all just kind of cancels out. And the I-spin, hello? That I-spin is cute. Into the STSD, that is going to find enough of a surge to bring it to match point for Civ. TKI versus some MS2 here. A misdropped MS2, but wondering if they can still find the C-spin. They choose not to go for the C-spin. Sometimes that's like one of the setups that's like most difficult to reconcile, I would say, is the C-spin. Ooh, Civ push up at the top of the board here, trying to find their way down, but Interrogator finds the point. More extended versus TKI. Civ setting up the STSD here. Interrogator looking for that C-spin. Finds it. Civ finds the back-to-back first and breaks it. Interrogator finds their back-to-back from their last T-spin of their opener. Also just chooses to break right away, and both players in the top half of the board right now trying to find a down stack. Civ slowing down just a little bit here to look for these all spins. And Civ does find a nice combo that puts Interrogator up at the top of the board. They have some of the pieces they need to get out of it, but yeah, just a few too many dependencies, and that is going to give Civ the win right there. So, very exciting first game, and yeah, we are going to go straight into our next one here once our players are in the lobby. UI Galaxy versus Muke, 2 X Plus players, very similar TR. The stats are pretty different though, actually, now that I'm looking at this. 3.13 PPS versus 4.09 is interesting. Whereas I would say the versus score has less of a difference. But yeah, like I said, we are just going to get our players in the lobby here, and we will let you know when we are ready to go. Okay, I see Mute in the lobby, so might just be waiting on UI Galaxy. I also would like to announce that my cat is now watching. He'd been asking to get on my lap while I was doing something else for a while, so I said no. But now he's been let on and is very excited to watch Stratosphere 127. All right, I do see players in the lobby, so should be getting this to you soon. And yeah, my cat is very excited to watch this matchup, for sure. All right, and it looks like players are looking for a warm-up, so that is going to be starting now. Ooh, UI Galaxy misdrops on the 6-3 upstack as an opener, my personal favorite. Ooh, misdrops that T as well, but UI Galaxy has the speed to get out of this. Muke up at the top of the board here, clears out the well in time. Ooh, nice T-spin setup for Muke there. Still kind of at the top, while UI Galaxy is at the bottom, just spamming out these T-spins right here. Finding back-to-back, going 4.5 PPS. Hello? UI Galaxy misdrops, and that is not great, if you ask me. Couple of all spins to start to fix this, but that is still quite the board to deal with there. A lot of pieces throwing down, and yeah, UI Galaxy just does not have the pieces to get out of that. All right, we are jumping straight into our first to 7 here. MKO on Muke's side and TKI on UI Galaxy's side. Muke finding the first back-to-back, but UI Galaxy finding a 29 spike there. That puts Muke at the top, and UI Galaxy does find that kill. All right, we have the tried, the true DT cannon on Muke's side. Absolutely love to see that opener. I personally think that it got buffed with the Season 2 rule set, but I feel like the players aren't making enough use of it. So I'm glad to see that. And you know what? That's what happens when you use DT cannon right there, guys, is you win. Come on. All right, some stick spin versus a little bit of freestyle 6-3 stacking. UI Galaxy finds the first back-to-back, and Muke is a little bit pressured here at the top of the board with that -10 there, but they find the eyepiece that they need to get out of this. They're going to be on the down stack for a little bit, as UI Galaxy may be looking to build more back-to-back. That's not going to work with those misdrops that they just made on the board. And Muke is slowing down just a little bit here to try to get their stack in the spot that they want, where UI Galaxy is just keeping that 4.5 PPS, that speed advantage. They are looking for an STSD setup right now. They do find it. Muke with a nice well they're trying to get into. They find a little bit of a combo with it, but maybe not the full attack that they were hoping for. A nice small spike from UI Galaxy. Turns into a 16. Pretty nice. UI Galaxy up at the top of the board with some clean garbage to work with. Muke setting up an STSD over the well, and yeah, just does not have the pieces they need. They do find those pieces just in time and do gain well access here. Both players with some combos. UI Galaxy has a little bit of a mess to deal with on their board garbage-wise, and that misdrop on the O is going to end the round. I always forget the name of that opener that Nuke just did. I think that's Sailboat, and I think that I always forget that it's Sailboat. But all right. That opener brings Muke to a 12 in their back-to-back. Some all spins to keep that going. We just see that increasing on UI Galaxy's board, but UI Galaxy is able to tank all of it and then turns the pressure, reverses it back onto Muke. UI Galaxy with a 26 spike and some back-to-back ready to go, where Muke is at the top of the board, not really prepared for too much attack. Okay, Muke stabilizes their board well enough to handle the incoming attack from UI Galaxy, but ooh, that misdrop over the well is just brutal, and that is absolutely going to slow them down, give Muke a little bit more time. Muke finds that back-to-back. There's that ding. They break it right away, so no messy garbage to be gained from that. UI Galaxy with a couple of spins to fix up their board. Always love to see that, and they are just in a 7-2 stack now. Muke with some T-spins, getting into the next well. A little bit of thinking, and Muke is going to be up at the top here, and UI Galaxy does find that kill. TKIs on both sides. UI Galaxy breaks that back-to-back first, and that forces Muke to break their back-to-back early on here. Muke up at the top, they don't have the pieces they need, and that is going to be a quick round for UI Galaxy. Ending that at almost 5 PPS. Wow. All right, some SDPC spin going on from UI Galaxy's side, where Muke is just trying to deal with garbage. Some very nice all spins here for Muke to find this back-to-back, and that does put a quick -9 on UI Galaxy's board. They do misdrop, but they find enough of a cleanup so that they can handle the incoming attack from Muke breaking surge right there. Both players kind of at the bottom of the board, a little bit of skimming, both going to try to start building up back-to-back now, and UI Galaxy finds it. We hear that ding. They do break with a 19 spike, and Muke just does not have what they need to deal with that. Some SDPC spin versus some freestyle stacking. UI Galaxy finds that quick back-to-back from that opener. And a couple of clutch clears from Muke at the top, but yeah, not really able to find too much of a response to that opener. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anybody open with like a 6-3 upstack like Muke has done the past few rounds. That's it's interesting. I like it. All right, Muke sets up an STSD. Neither of our players building up too much back-to-back quite yet, though it looks like UI Galaxy is looking to do that with these setups. Not able to find that back-to-back. Muke up at the top of the board and just, yeah, is pressured from UI Galaxy, not really finding the pieces they need in time. Yeah, whenever I think about like human gameplay versus like inhuman gameplay for some of these top players, it's that you can see how long it takes for them to switch their strategies. And I think that's what, and GG's UI Galaxy finds that around, but that is something that I noticed from Youth right there is like most human beings, when push up the top of the board and have to like rethink your strategy, actually taking a little bit of time. And yeah, that is unfortunately what cost them a couple of those rounds in there. But it's a nice reminder that some of these players are actually human and don't think at 12 PPS. I could never. But yeah, okay, we are going to work on getting our next match too, guys. And just looking around, we don't have a match yet. That is fine. I am looking over into the bracket. Um, just to look at some of what else is going on, I see Gigawatt versus Sabolch is a match that already happened. So Gigawatt advancing from that in the bracket. And okay, we have had one of our losers matches played already, but now we do exactly what I always do at this point, and I'm bringing up the TWC page and looking at the standings. So our current top 10 in the TWC points is Gohan, Westel, Shark, Diao, Turtle, Tiki, Akma, Ale, OSW, and Red Monster. So the only player within that top 10 that's in this bracket right now is OSW. So maybe just looking for a few more of those silver tournament points. And I hide completely. I actually realized I don't know when TWC is. Like, when do the qualifier events stop and when does the actual thing start? Because I look at the page and I don't see any tournaments scheduled out past April. So to me, that means that TWC shenanigans starts in May. But yeah, I should follow this closer. Qualifiers end in July. Okay, so a bit more time, Yeah, there's a lot of tournaments that go into it, so it makes sense that that page might not have like 3 months out, but has everything in there for the rest of April. I don't know what else to talk about. I did my taxes today. I always do them last minute. Hated it, but that's okay. Yeah, and sure, we're just waiting for another bracket match to finish up or something. Okay, see OSW is about to play Civ, or that's likely going on right now. Yippee, taxes, so fun. I love taxes. Also, my cat has gotten off of my lap because I was talking too loud and is now sitting on a ledge in the kitchen, staring at me judgingly. Never fun. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know. Maybe I talk about the results of Sketch was involved in this as well, but we did an event to see how many SS players it takes to beat certain pro players, and we learned that the answer is 8. Yeah, nobody was able to beat 8 of us, little SS gremlins. So yeah, in case you ever wanted the answer to that, there you go. We'll see if we do that again, if someone can break the record and get 8. I think several players tried and failed. We kept building up back to back by just 9-0ing and then just all sending in at the same time, which I feel like worked pretty well for us. I also have the Pedro song stuck in my head right now, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that one, but yeah, that's the only thing I'm hearing right now in my head, so it's not pleasant up here, I'll say that. Hi, Gigawatt, thank you. Yeah, we're just hanging out for now. Giga, do you have anything to say about the bracket? I see you just won your match and you were either going to play bot chess or nuclear bread next. Any sort of, how do you think you're going to do in the bracket? Do you think this is a scary one or do you think you got this? Always love to get player insight. You're scared of UI Galaxy? That is reasonable after what we just saw, especially. So fast. Your brain is currently static. That's probably better than the Pedro song, I'm going to say that. I also have all my sewing stuff in front of me because I'm trying to make a glove and it's not really going that great, but that's okay. Thumbs are weird. That's what I've learned. You know what? Let's Google fun facts about llamas. Actually, you know what? We should do capybaras. All right, let's see what we got. They can sleep in water. What? That's insane. No, I don't want to join your newsletter. I want to read about capybaras. Well, yes, they are fantastic swimmers. That's what we've got as one of our fun facts on here. They can dive and stay underwater for up to 5 minutes at a time, often falling asleep in the water while keeping their nose at the edge of the banks, napping along rivers, mangroves, and marshes to help them stay cool. You know what? I could see that. Just chilling in the water with your nose above. Just, it seems a little scary, but you know what? I respect it. Other animals use capybaras like furniture, often referred to as nature's ottoman or moving chairs. These friendly critters don't ever seem to knock back a ride sharing request from another animal. Oh my god. I've definitely seen photos of animals riding capybaras, but yeah. An adult capybara weighs as much as an adult human? What? With an average weight of around 50 kilograms, these barrel-shaped mammals are currently certainly no field mice, I can read, weighing anywhere between 35 and 70 kilograms. Although female capybaras are a little heavier than their male counterparts. Wow. Got us some great fun facts. Let's see if I can find more. I clicked on a Reddit thread about capybaras. If there's any fun facts in the comments there, and the first one just says there are more capybaras on Earth than there are months in a year. That's great. All right, so now that we've gotten through the actual fun facts and into just absolute, like, not even real things, we have OSW versus UI Galaxy. Yeah, very much looking forward to this one. Always exciting to see these players in a tournament bracket. Can I get a fact check on that one? Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I've maybe seen like 3 of them at the same time, but you know, the might be all of them. Have we counted them all? Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. Looks like we have our players ready to go. So if they want a warm-up, looks like the answer is yes. So we will get that started in just a minute. See, with the whole, like, have we counted them all? We don't really need to count them all. We would just need to count 13 of them, unless the number of months in a year changes, which I guess, yeah, that could get really complicated. All right. OSW, come on. Are you, are you, okay. Okay. UI Galaxy looked like they just started building Secret Grade there. That looked very intentional, the way that they started building Secret Grade. So now that everybody's keyboards are working, we are off here. OSW with that first back-to-back, and yeah, just, there's not really too much to say about that one. After that kind of start, you can't really say much. All right, we are going to get started here. TKIs from both sides. OSW just kind of going into an LST stack, not even getting into garbage until just now, sending a 31 spike with the back-to-back break right there. UI Galaxy does misdrop above the board there, and that is going to give OSW the first round in this first to 11 now. SDPC spin on UI Galaxy's side, while OSW just builds up that 6-3 up stack. OSW is slowing down a little bit here. Yeah, it's slowing down too much. And that gives UI Galaxy their first point. PCO stack versus some stick spin opening bag type opener. And UI Galaxy's board a little bit awkward as they do try to clean this up. Still up at the top and does not have the pieces they need to get out of that. And so OSW gets his second. Stick spin from UI Galaxy, OSW with the 6-3 up stack. I feel like a lot of TEC players are very prone to just 6-3 up stacking as an opener. UI Galaxy with approximately 3 misdrops. Not looking great, but they do fix everything pretty quickly. OSW using the gravity to drop a piece into place is always like a little comical when you see top players do that. Ooh, misdrop on OSW side forces them to break back to back, and UI Galaxy is just on the down stack looking for that down stack spike. UI Galaxy playing over 4 PPS right now, whereas OSW is the slower player in this matchup. UI Galaxy up at the top does not find the pieces they need to get out of that in time. And so OSW finds their third. SDPC spin from UI Galaxy. UI Galaxy finds the first back-to-back. OSW up at the top may be forced to break that back-to-back early. Does break it up at the top of the board. Has a couple of pieces to get out. Does not find the full out, and UI Galaxy is able to put on enough pressure to find the second point for them. OSW with a couple of misdrops as an opener, where UI Galaxy has a C-spin ready to go, and unfortunately, C-spin usually beats a few misdrops in the opener phase. And we're tied up at 3 here. C-spin openers from both sides here. OSW finds back-to-back first, where UI Galaxy breaks their back-to-back. It looked a little unintentional the way that they dropped that T-piece. So yeah, being pushed up to the top there. TKI versus some SCPC spin. OSW trying to go into an LST situation. Switches that over to a 3-6, whereas UI Galaxy is also in the 3-6. UI Galaxy breaks back to back and now sees that -11 on the screen, but they have well access, and so they're ready for OSW to break that. They set up a fractal as well as we hear some more dings. OSW breaks, but UI Galaxy has enough to defend against that right now, and they are on the down stack as they do find that 5 back-to-back. They break right away. That doesn't really find its way to OSW's board at all. And OSW is just on the up stack for now. And they misdrop an eyepiece, not exactly finding as much attack as they wanted out of that, but still finding what they need to. Setting up an STSD, and UI Galaxy gets just yeeted to the top of the board. They did have a J misdrop late that would probably have let them survive had they not made it, but yeah, that is the round. So we have SDP C-Spin versus just a normal C-Spin opener. UI Galaxy breaks with a 24 spike, and that does leave OSW's board looking pretty rough, but yeah, and oh my gosh, it was a J misdrop again. That is so sad. 6-3 up stack versus a misdropped SDP C-Spin or a C-Spin opener. I couldn't see which of the two it was. They just stack so fast. OSW with that 7 back-to-back, about to put that warning onto UI Galaxy's board and then misdropping its CPs pretty badly. They have the all spins to get out of this, and UI Galaxy is setting up quite the power stack of their own with that insane number of overhangs. Love to see that. OSW finding a small combo downstack, and UI Galaxy with a couple of misdrops here. They're trying to downstack this and so far staying alive, but this isn't looking good, and ooh, OSW finds enough pressure to end that round. Yeah, UI Galaxy almost had their way out of that. They were so close to that next well and even had the pieces they needed. Both players having that back-to-back. UI Galaxy breaks it first. OSW sitting there with a 9 and sends it, but UI Galaxy has the pieces they need to get into the well. UI Galaxy on the down stack, finding an 18 spike here, and OSW has a misdrop at the top of the board. He fixes it in time, has a couple of T-spins on this down stack, keeping that back-to-back. Both players just kind of upstacking right now. Well, no, UI Galaxy wasn't upstacking right then. They were upstacking a little bit before then, but they do have that -7 on the board. That's a nice little setup with the donation T-spin there, as OSW appears to have an O misdrop on their board. Yeah, neither player being able to build up back-to-back right now. OSW with that misdrop is going to continue to have them slow down as they try to build that back-to-back, and OSW chooses just skim. UI Galaxy has that back-to-back, though. We hear that ding, and OSW finds that back-to-back. They are pretty even, and UI Galaxy breaks and sends the spike. OSW just now breaks, doesn't really do much to UI Galaxy, and yeah, we're just on the down stack here. UI Galaxy looking up to, nope, not looking to build back-to-back, just going for the down stack. As OSW has a C-spin set up. That C-spin with a down stack leads to a 24 spike, where UI Galaxy is just kind of in a sidewell situation, and ooh, yeah, little rough there. I think there was one tiny misdrop at the end, but it is just a lot of pressure from OSW's side. Some fast openings here from both sides. OSW, a little bit of plonking action going on. They break back-to-back. UI Galaxy breaks back-to-back, and that puts a lot of cheese on OSW's board. UI Galaxy just still trying to spam on attack, going into an LST situation here. A little bit of hesitation from UI Galaxy, and a back-to-back break while OSW has a misdropped Z at the top of the board. And oh, Queen Hope, thank you for the raid. Hello, welcome on in. Welcome to Stratosphere 127. We have our 1 seed versus our 4 seed going on right now. And all right, C-spin opener from OSW. UI Galaxy going for the 6-3 up stack. UI Galaxy gets back-to-back and breaks it. OSW on the down stack for now. A little bit of awkward stacking from UI Galaxy's side, and OSW does find the kill, getting close to that match point. We have SDP C-spin versus TKI right now. Miss drop on UI Galaxy's side that they are going to have to clean up. They do clean it up very well, but OSW does find back-to-back in that time. And we see that 7 about to be 8 onto UI Galaxy's board. There is that still going. Oh, with the 47 spike, hello? Oh, that was brutal. The 16 surge break into the 47 spike there. That is not an easy attack to live against. PC from OSW to start this off. Wow, okay, so both players kind of, yeah, woo, that was a little too fast to speak on, but a lot of back and forth right there with the back-to-back. And the difference there is that OSW was able to keep the back-to-back that whole time. And that is going to be it for that match. So UI Galaxy will go down into our losers bracket. Hopefully we'll see them again, and OSW, the 1 seed, will remain on the winner's side. Yeah, very fun, very exciting. GG's. And it looks like we might be pretty quick with our next match here, which is always exciting. We love to see it. But yeah, very fun. I'm gonna look now at the bracket again to see if I have anything interesting to report. Usually the matches that we show on stream are the more interesting matches, so it's rare to see something quote unquote interesting or unexpected in the bracket if you look around. But I do see Bot Chess versus Gigawatt is a winner's bracket match. I do see those two players here, so it does look like that's going to be our match, and there it is. Okay, so this one's interesting because both of these players go by very different usernames than their Tetrio usernames. So if you're unfamiliar with these two, it might get a little confusing here. But Road to H rank is Bot Chess, and Never Say GG is Gigawatt here. Am I hearing TC music? Probably. But yeah, it looks like we will be getting the warm-up to you soon. All right. And here we go with our warm-up. Bot Chess on... Actually, I want to make sure I'm seeing the same thing. Okay, yeah. Bot Chess on the left, Gigawatt on the right. So we have... That's SDPC with a nice little C-spin setup. And then Bot Chess appears to misdrop over the well and then misdrops that Z piece. They do have what they need to get out of that for now, but Gigawatt is just trying to spam out attack here, and she's at the bottom of the board, setting up a nice floating T-spin there. Bot Chess just trying to find the down stack, setting up a little bit of a combo situation with some all spins in the middle of it, finds enough to defend against the incoming attack from Gigawatt. Yeah, and that is going to be enough pressure from Gigawatt there to find the... Oh, and a misdrop as well, now that I'm seeing it played back. But this is going to be another first to 11. This is 2 seed versus 3 seed, so very exciting match. All right, and it looks like Bot Chess may have misdropped the opener. So they just turned this into an 09 stack. My personal favorite, but Gigawatt is just in this LST stack right now. I think that was a mishold there that forced them to break back to back. And there is a lot of attack coming over from Bot Chess's side, but Gigawatt does fix it. I'm also going to be slow with this one because I have to like mentally program myself to say the names instead of the usernames. All right. A 25 spike there from Gigawatt, and Bot Chess is alive, but with quite a bit of cheese on the board. Bot Chess finds a down stack to put a little bit of pressure onto Gigawatt here, who's at the top, but Gigawatt has a clean well ready to go, so are they going to find it in time? They do. They find the quad into the T-spin, into the well, and Bot Chess is just over here at the bottom of the board, finding some T-spins, probably looking to build up back to back. Ooh, and a misdrop there from Botchas. A couple of misdrops. They find that back-to-back and they break it immediately to try to salvage their board state. And they find the eyepiece in time to get that down stack. And oh no, that L misdrop there. That is rough to see. But the fix is nice. The all spins are nice. Botchas at the, Gigawatt at the bottom of the board here, getting pushed up with this pretty clean garbage coming in from Botchas. And we do see that -9 on Gigawatt's board. They do mitigate most of the surge, but it does come in as messy garbage, so Gigawatt is going to have to break back-to-back there to deal with some of the cheese at the bottom of the board, and now there's clean garbage. Misdrop from Gigawatt right there, and that is going to be the round. That was a pretty long first round. 1.5 minutes is pretty long for this rating of player. Ooh, and a misdrop there from Botchas. Ooh, another misdrop with the O piece. And yeah, those misdrops are just going to do it in. We follow a 1.5 minute round with a 13-second round. All right, some stick spin versus MS2. Gigawatt finds the color clear, but sadly that doesn't do anything as Botchas has quite the little surge break into combo down stack right there. Didn't find too much of an attack out of it. And ooh, yeah, there was a misdropped or misheld eyepiece in there. Misread, something went wrong there. And that was what gave Gigawatt the point. All right, more stick spin versus C spin. I thought Gigawatt was going for an I spin there. All right, so Botchas is the one who has the back-to-back right now. We see that -9 appear on Gigawatt's board, as this is some really clean stacking from Botchas. Look at this fractal setup. The T-Ways fractal is always insane to me. Some nice all spins here. Does not even need to break that 16 back-to-back that they have because, yeah, Gigawatt's misdrops just ended that round. And we are 2-all here. Ooh, a misdropped stick spin from Botchas right here is going to give Gigawatt an early advantage, but this is a really nice 3-6 well that's coming in on Botchas' side, so they are going to make use of that, find that back-to-back, whereas we do see Gigawatt's well as a 1-8, so a little bit harder to work with, and Gigawatt has the well covered right now, but is going to find their way into it, but this is a -10 appearing on their board. Botchas, what are you doing? Is this a double Vitz setup? No, that was an STSD. Oh, I'm just too small brain to see what you're going for. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so Botchas builds up back-to-back yet again, breaks it to get into this next well. Gigawatt with a 25 spike. That's going to come in really clean onto Botchas' board. And they have quite the 8-1 stack ready to go into a 23 spike. Gigawatt is forced to break back-to-back here. They have access to the next well, but a little bit of slowdown here from Gigawatt. Is that going to cost this round? Because Botchas is just building up this back-to-back. We see that 8, we see that 9, and... Okay, both players breaking back-to-back right there brings us back to an even state, and a nice spike from Gigawatt puts Botchas at the top of the board here. And this is another long round as we are getting to that 1.5 minute point again. Both players not really letting the other build back-to-back, and a misdrop there from Botchas is going to slow them down enough to give Gigawatt a window for that point. Ooh, a misdropped opener again from Botchas. Luckily, there isn't too much opener pressure from Gigawatt's side, so we are just going to kind of go straight into our mid-game right here, and never mind. Botchas does not find the eyepiece in time, and that is going to give Gigawatt the 2-round lead here. All right, we have MS2 versus stick spin. A lot of back-to-back going back and forth here. Both players kind of keeping a similar pace. Kind of just sending this clean back and forth to each other, both of them breaking back to back, and that's going to leave Botchess with a lot of messy garbage on the board, but are they even going to get to it? Because they're pushed up at the top here, not looking great as Gigawatt finds enough of a spike there to bring it to 5-2. Some more stick spin versus TKI. Gigawatt looking for the PC there, and that is quite the misdrop. I'm assuming that's a misdrop. That looks like a misdrop. Yeah, it's gotta be. And the 21 spike from Gigawatt is enough to end that round, and Gigawatt's starting to run away with this here. Botchess can definitely bring this back, but they've got to start turning it around soon. Ooh, another misdropped opener. That is just rough. I'm wondering if maybe they're not on the normal control scheme or if there's just something going on today. New keyboard, you never know. All right. Gigawatt finds the PC there and is just keeping this going with this LST stack. They break back to back. And Botchess finds their own back to back. Kind of up at the top of the board for now. A little bit of greeting activities, but yeah. Botchess' spot is scaring me. Okay, there they go. There they go. Breaking that back-to-back to get into a safer spot. Gigawatt with a nice dono on the side here and a couple of cheeky all-spins. But eventually down stacks. Botchess looking for a bit of a spike here. Finds the 17 spike out of it. When that T misdrop on Botchess' side is not what they needed. They down stack, though, with a 12 spike followed by a 9 and are just going to put that pressure. They break back-to-back. And Gigawatt is pretty in a good spot right here as Botchess is at the top. Wow, finds that 20 spike. And we are at 6-3. I remember hearing someone say, you know, if the score is 6-3, you gotta open 6-3. So I always wonder if the players are gonna do that, but they never do. Botchess with some all-spinning activities here. Ooh, not in a great spot. Looks like they almost misdropped, but they saved it just in time. So you see that -10 onto Botchess' board. Gigawatt forced to break that back-to-back. Some more all-spin activities going on Botchess' side, but not really finding the back-to-back they're looking for out of it. They do find a bit of a combo down stack, though, but Gigawatt is building that back-to-back right now. They do break it right up at the top here. I do like that decision as Botchess finds their own back-to-back with these T-spins right here and a couple of all-spins in the mix. And Gigawatt sends an 18 spike, but that leaves them with a -9 at the top of their board. If we look at Botchess' side, though, there's a lot of cheese going on there, so they are going to have to do something about that at some point. They're just choosing to ignore it and set up an STSD right now, but yeah, you got a break right there. Nothing else you can do. And this is almost just TEC phase 3 at this point with just getting through that messy garbage as efficiently as you can. A little bit of plonking from Gigawatt's side as they are just looking for that clean to get that spike right there. It does turn into a 14 spike, and Botchess gets that back-to-back and releases it really quickly in a 19 spike. Gigawatt was pushed to the top, but had a clean well to deal with that. And a 26 spike is going to force Botchess to break back-to-back and get rid of the attack that they were building up. Both players having some really clean garbage right here and just trying to build up that back-to-back. But right now, Gigawatt is building up that back-to-back way more effectively. You do see that +10, or rather a margin of 4 in Gigawatt's favor. A little bit of combo down stack there from Gigawatt does not force Botchess to break back-to-back. Botchess breaks it later, and it results in a little bit of cheese. Yeah, a little bit too much cheese on Botchess' side. That's a very hard-fought point for Gigawatt there. Is that a TST tower? Okay. Ooh, and a misdrop. Misdrop from Botchess. They do fix it. Where Gigawatt just has the 6-3 stat going. They release it with a 20 spike. Ooh, and a couple of misdrops there on Gigawatt's side is going to slow her down just a little bit. And yeah, that is going to be enough to give Botchess the point. Cheeky little STSD at the bottom of the board from Gigawatt here to start this off. Ooh, the mini Aspen triple. Hello, the style points with the 27 spike. I love that. A beautiful, beautiful season 2 moment right there. Oh, great. Now we have a center forward. 11 combo out of it, but but Gigawatt just cancels all of it with that surge, just sends it that far wide, does almost nothing. But it is fun though. I was looking at, I don't even understand these all spins going on Botchess's board right now. It just has like a floating T piece in the middle of the board, menacingly. All right. Gigawatt has some back-to-back here, sends that in a 22 spike. That pushes Botchess up to the top. Do they have the pieces they need to get down? They do for now, but that's a little bit of a mess going on in the bottom of the board. Neither player really having that back-to-back, both going to look to start building it, hopefully, probably soon. There's a reason why these players are playing and I'm not. I was just, oh, you didn't take the washing machine? You didn't take the washing machine? That's sad. I do like the all spins though from Botchess. Ooh, another S-spin triple setup. Only finds the double with it. And yeah, just leaves themselves in a little bit of an awkward position. There was a misdrop at the top of the board there, but still just not great positioning. And Gigawatt gets one closer to match point here. Ooh, a misdrop from Botchess. They break back-to-back. Gigawatt doesn't really have too much in the arsenal to punish that back-to-back as Botchess gets back to a good board state. A little -8 appearing at the top. Got an eye spin for the fans. Ooh, Gigawatt breaks that back-to-back with a 16 spike. Not quite enough. Botchess doesn't even have to break their back-to-back yet. They have that 12. We see them break it, and that is going to keep Botchess in this right now. 6-8 is very, very winnable for Botchess right now. Ooh, a misdrop from Gigawatt. Really nice fix on the misdrop, though. That's going to allow them to just get into that LST. They choose not to go for the LST and just go for the down stack. Ooh, misdrop from Botchess leaves the horizontal eyepiece in a not great spot, but really nice game to fix it. Speaking of misdrops, we have... Oh, was that even... that looked like a misdrop to me, and then all of a sudden was turned into a T-spin. But yeah, what do I know? So Botchess finds another point here, bringing us closer to a tie. Some stick spin activities. With some LST activities on the other side. And both players break their back-to-back. Gigawatt is the one who ends up with the messier board as they clear it, they get through their cheese. Botchess is plonking, question mark? That or lagging, I can never tell, but that does bring us to tied. That's one of my other favorite parts about Season 2, is my opponent plonking or lagging? You never know. DPC from Botchess, not finding the third PC, and I believe there was a misdrop there in the middle of it. Botchess's board is now less than ideal as Gigawatt is just finding these T-spins at the bottom. Botchess gets a handle back on their board as Gigawatt sends their 7 surge. Doesn't really get too much onto Botchess's board. Both players just playing a little bit of cleanup right now. Botchess with the all spins going, and I don't entirely see the vision, and I don't think I will get to because Gigawatt finds the kill there. MS2 or some C-spin opener. It's hard to tell them all apart. Versus stick spin. Ooh, and a misdrop. Misdrop on Gigawatt's side. Could this bring it back to tied right here? Gigawatt trying to find the down stack, doesn't find it in time, and we are tied at 9-9. Some C-spins on both sides. Back-to-back on both sides. Botchas building the back-to-back a little bit quicker here. Gigawatt breaks back-to-back there and sees the -12 at the top of the board, trying to get some back-to-back going again. And yeah, they break it, and there comes in that 13 surge, but Botchas misdrops. That is going to make it so that Botchas cannot find the kill, and both players are back in this pretty even. Both find back-to-back at the same time, but Botchas has a misdrop. They fix it with a Z-spin triple. Love to see that. But an 18 spike from Gigawatt is going to push Botchas up to the top. Botchas breaks their own back-to-back. Gigawatt has a clean well to get into. Uses that for a 14 spike, where Botchas just kind of goes for the skim down stack. Gigawatt definitely looking to build up back-to-back here. Botchas finding back-to-back of their own. Botchas breaks that back-to-back. Gigawatt breaks theirs shortly after. Both of those garbage sets on the board are not going to look ideal, but they're both going to clear it away and get their boards back to a decent state. Now Botchas is the one with the back-to-back, and Gigawatt's the one at the top of the board with that -10 going. They've got to keep their access to the well open so that they can deal with the incoming garbage. And there it is. Nice plonking there from Gigawatt, as they had the STSD ready, but did not even need to take it at the top of the board right there. And that is going to be match point for Gigawatt here. C-spin versus I don't even know what kind of misdrop that was. Gigawatt definitely taking this a little bit slow here. Botchas misdrops a T-piece. Yeah, they've had a couple of the T-flat misdrops in this match. And Botchas gets pushed up to the top of the board. They get through it and get into the messy garbage, and okay, that one was intentional. That T-piece was intentional for the all spins. Those ones are cool to see, but Gigawatt breaks back-to-back right here. That is going to give Botchas the back-to-back advantage, as we see this -12, -10 now, -11. They're just kind of going back and forth on Gigawatt's board. Gigawatt breaks back-to-back and pressures Botchas into defensively breaking their back-to-back, which is going to leave things rather neutral here. Nice little eye spin on Botchas' side. I don't know. I love the eye spins. They're always just so stylish. Gigawatt has to deal with the back-to-back break from Botchas, but they are ready to handle it, and setting up a floating T-spin and not taking it, or rather like a donation and not taking it. S-spin triple from Botchas for the fans. Gigawatt taking a little bit of time to think about what to do here, almost dying, finding the out, definitely not wanting to bring this to tiebreaker. You can see it in the way that they're playing. Botchas with the 13 spike, but a misdrop to follow it up. And so neither player really finding enough material to kill right now. Gigawatt with a 33 spike. Botchas is able to handle it without even breaking back-to-back here. And that -9 is going to start looking pretty menacing on Gigawatt's board. They do have that 6-3 stack. They're waiting for the attack. They're waiting for the break. They deal with it, and they send a 24 spike in response. Does Botchas have the out? There's the out, finding the eyepiece in time. Gigawatt's board not looking great here, as there are some misdrops going on, and Gigawatt finds the T-spin into quad down stack. That dono is so greedy, and you know it. There's no survival there, and that is going to bring us to a tiebreaker here. Love to see the tiebreaker. PCO stack versus what looked like a C-spin opener that was misdropped. I'm just trying my best to figure out what's going on in those opener phases there. The all spins being involved in openers definitely makes it way harder to figure out when players are misdropping. Actually, I'm yapping, and Gigawatt is sending a 23 spike. Gigawatt trying to end this round early, does not want another long round, just wants this to be over. But Botchas has a lot of clean on the board, and downstacking through it, maybe a little bit of a misdrop over the well, and finding some nice all spins and a nice T-spin to continue on down here. A little bit of cheese that Botchas is going to have to work through here. Gigawatt just trying to find those quads, those T-spins, maybe a little bit of plonking action, just going for an up stack here. Nice little count to 4 on Gigawatt's side, as Botchas is setting up a nice dono. That's a nice little all spin setup that gives a T-spin double. I love the all spins and a T-spin doubles. Gigawatt at the top of the board sends that 18 spike. Botchus is alive, but has to try to down stack through this. Both players towards the bottom of the board. Not too much more material to be thrown around, so both players are going to have to find a bit of upstack, and Botchus is the one upstacking right now. Botchus is the one with that 7, that 8 back-to-back ready to go. They do send it, but none of it finds its way to Gigawatt's board. But Gigawatt is slowing down here, trying to find survival, trying to find which way to stack. Botchus just only speeding up with that 18 spike. Nice little Z-spin triple from Gigawatt's side. And Gigawatt's at the top. Do they have the pieces to get out? They do not. And that is going to give the game to Botchus. Wow, so that is an upset, I'm pretty sure. No, it was not. No, it was not. There was back and forth there, but that did go to the higher seed there, Botchus. So yeah, very intense one. Love to see it. Love to see it. So we are going to see Botchus go against OSW in the winners bracket, where Gigawatt is going to drop down to our losers bracket. So we will get to see more games from them, probably. I'm not in charge of that, so I don't fully know. But Nuclear Bread versus Sebulch here. More close seeds over here. Sometimes I like to do time zone math. I'm pretty sure it's midnight for both of them. I feel like midnight isn't a horrible time to play, but it's definitely not ideal. Especially considering we are not at the end of the bracket yet. So let's see if our players are looking for a warm-up. Looks like they are not. Wonder if it has something to do with the fact that it's midnight. Probably. All right. Players exchanging their GLHFs, and we will get this match going. Nuh-uh, it's 6 p.m. for you. Wait, can I not read? Netherlands. I don't know how time works. Why are you in the same time zone as me? I'm pretty sure I'm not in the same time zone as the Netherlands. Whatever. Anyways, we're off. We're going. Gotta stay up until 6 a.m. Oh my god. Okay. We are going a little bit of cheese on Sebulch's board here with those little 2 wells going down, and now Nuclear Bread is sending those clean attacks, and Sebulch is getting into those clean attacks with a 20 spike right there. Ooh, Nuclear Bread, do they have the pieces to get out? They do. They find the eyepiece and they find the down stack. Insane down stack right there to leave them with a nice clean board and well access getting into that well. But Sebulch has that 9 back-to-back here that they are looking to keep right now. A little bit of hesitation as they are looking for that way to down stack, and they do find a 24 spike out of that. Nuclear Bread breaks back to back here and has that nice clean well, gets into that clean well for a 22 spike, and Sebulch misdrops the S piece at the top of the board. Are they going to be able to find an out in time? They start to find the out, but Nuclear Bread puts up enough damage to find the first point. Sebulch just, you know, a little bit of plonking just for funsies right there. Nuclear Bread finds the first back-to-back. They are just continuing to spam out this attack, breaks back-to-back, and yeah, Sebulch not able to find the pieces to get their stack back to a good spot. PCO stack versus... It was stick spin. Okay. And now we're just plonking. Great. Lovely. Lovely. Great job, guys. Nice. They look like they're playing quick play and they have the revive condition of rotate a piece 60 times. Or just rotate 60 times. That's kind of what that looked like for a sec. I love watching top players spam rotate on an O piece. It's honestly my favorite part of quick play. All right. So Sebulch does see that -8 on the board as Nuclear Bread is just building up this back-to-back, has a fractal ready to go, doesn't take the second T-spin, takes the all-spin instead, and sends a 26 spike with the back-to-back break. That's going to put Sebulch up to the top, and Nuclear Bread finds enough follow-up to give a 3rd point to them right there. Nuclear Bread going into an LST stack right here off of this, off of the opener. Sebulch is receiving a bit of garbage here, a little bit of cheese that they're going to have to deal with. Another player having back-to-back right now. Nuclear Bread setting up a C-spin, finding that C-spin, love to see it. Looking for the down stack. Okay, I was wondering if they were going to go for some all spins for back-to-back there. Decide not to and just down stack instead. Sebulch with a little bit of a sidewell for now, finding some T-spins over it. Both players just trying to stack safe right now as they do know that the other player can just spike them into oblivion. Sebulch finds the back-to-back at the top here, and speaking of spiking into oblivion, finds a 17 spike to put them on the board. Some TKIs here from both sides. Nuclear Bread with some nice follow-ups. That's going to put Sebulch up at the top of the board. Nuclear Bread breaks back to back first, and Sebulch finds the well for a small 12 spike. Nuclear Bread up at the top here. They're going to have to find some attack here if they want to stay alive. And ooh, that eye misdrop, not great. Can they find their well in time? They do, but Sebulch has that back-to-back. We hear that ding. We hear that, well, yeah, there it is. There it is. I was wondering when we were going to hear the -8 sound effect. We don't hear for that long because Sebulch breaks back-to-back. A little combo there from Nuclear Bread is going to put some messy garbage onto Sebulch's board. Look at that cheese at the bottom. They are going to have to deal with that. A little bit of plonking there from Nuclear Bread. They do misdrop an O piece. Definitely not what they're looking for, but they are able to skim that into a T-spin setup. Small spike from Nuclear Bread as both players just trying to find an attack here. Nuclear Bread is just going for the back-to-back kill right now and has to break it, but they do have a nice down stack. They do have some follow-up. Sebulch does have the eyepiece to get out of that. They do have the down stack, but Nuclear Bread is continuing to send pressure. Are they going to find enough pressure? And the answer is yes. Some TKI action. All right. Nuclear Bread has the -10 on the, or has the back-to-back advantage as Sebulch has the -12, now 13 on the top of the board. Sebulch is definitely just plonking right now, hoping that they can prepare themselves for the back-to-back break well enough, which they do here. And we are back to even. Nuclear Bread has this 9-0 stack, and Sebulch does not find the T-piece in time. And that is going to give Nuclear Bread a considerable lead here in this first to 11. Some LST from Nuclear Bread side. They do find that first back-to-back. Sebulch has some nice spins set up here, but they're not able to find that back-to-back quite yet. It seems like the player that has the speed in the early round is definitely going to be the one that finds back-to-back as they force their opponent to deal with some garbage early on. Like sending first garbage can give you a pretty big advantage, but not in that round, I guess. I just got proven wrong. TKI versus TKI. Love to see it. It's a beautiful opener. Never a bad TKI. It's always a good time. All right, so Nuclear Bread finds a bit of a spike that's going to push Sebulch up to the top with a lot of those 2 wells of garbage. Sebulch a little bit awkward here as Nuclear Bread does find the kill with a 16 spike. More TKI action. Sebulch plonking, it looks like there. Ooh, I like this all-spin setup to find the well from Sebulch, and they do break with a 22 spike, and that is going to find them the round. Nuclear Bread with, yeah, just too many misdrops at the top of the board. Only a couple, but yeah, just not looking through it, or not being able to sort through it in time. Yeah. MKO versus TKI here. Nice all spin setups from Sebulch. Nuclear Bread finds and breaks back to back right away. Sebulch is now the one with that back to back. Sends it also right away. And a little bit of cheese is going to find its way to Nuclear Bread's board. And Nuclear Bread is pushed up at the top here. They find the T-spin single up at the top, but they do misdrop that Z piece, and they're forced to hesitate a little bit here. They find another T-spin double up at the top, but Sebulch finds enough pressure to put it back to a pretty reasonable state for them. LST from Sebulch's side. Nuclear Bread also in that 2-7 LST stack. Sebulch has not broken back-to-back yet, is forced to do so now, and has some pretty messy garbage at the bottom that they're going to have to work their way into. Sebulch is ST stacking for some reason. Honestly, I love to see it. There's that 8 back-to-back break, and that doesn't really do much to Sebulch. They do down stack through it. And just some back and forth with these T-spins here. A 19 spike with a combo downstack from Sebulch. And Nuclear Bread is pushed up to the top. They find their op for now, but their board state is not ideal. And Sebulch finds the kill. Sebulch very much coming back in this set. PCO stack from both sides, actually. And now we wait. Yeah, now we're rotating the O piece. I can hear it in my game. That's great. And now we're stacking. Love to see it. Sebulch not able to find the T-spin that they were looking for, but they do find a 23 spike into their well, and now they are 9-0 up stacking. They have a nice well. Nuclear Bread also has a nice well. Ooh, Nuclear Bread not able to find the T-spin that they were looking for there. They are forced to kind of play defensively here. Sebulch finds that back-to-back and sends it to tie it up here. And now Nuclear Bread is going for the stick spin-esque opener. Couldn't tell which version that was. Both players now at the bottom just trying to build material, and Nuclear Bread does have well access here without breaking back-to-back. They break back-to-back anyways, as Sebulch is the one who is looking to maintain that back-to-back, and they break it with a 23 spike as they take the lead in this set. Sebulch types in chat, "Oh, I forgot. It's first to 11. Skull." That would have been an insane comeback in a first to 7 to end it like that. So now we know what happened with that string of points there. Sebulch thought that it was match point for several rounds when it was not. And now we are tied 7-7. PCO stacking from both sides. Sebulch up at the top here with some nice little plonking action, as Nuclear Bread has quite the fractal setup into a 21 spike. Nuclear Bread with a lot of attack going to Sebulch's side, but they have the eyepiece and they have the well that they need to get out of this. And Nuclear Bread is now up at the top. They have the down stack, they have the T-spin, they have the eyepiece, they have everything they need. But Sebulch is the one who is back to back right now, and they are maintaining it. A little bit of a greedy fractal setup, but they take both of the T-spins with a 20 spike. Nuclear Bread forced to break their back to back. Both players now up towards the top, trying to find that nice down stack. Nuclear Bread finding some nice efficiency in there, but forced to break back to back towards the end. Yeah, both players just kind of with these small attacks back and forth right now. No big spikes for now, though I'm sure both players are trying to plan those out. Little spike there from Nuclear Bread. Doesn't really do much to Sebulge, who has this T-spin and a quad set up here that they find a 14 spike with. And Nuclear Bread taking a little bit of time to change their mind there. Always love to see that. But that Elm is drop, not their best outcome. They do fix it, downstack it. Sebulge has a C-spin that they're trying to set up here, but they choose to not take it because they got pushed up to the top. They have the pieces they need, but yeah, that eye dependency in the middle of the board, not great. They do downstack through it. As Nuclear Bread is just trying to... Yeah, that Eat One well is never fun to stack up over. As we are just kind of like a little quiet spot, this 7-7. So Nuclear Bread does find that back-to-back, breaks it right away for that 13 spike. Doesn't really find its way to Sebulge's board. Maybe just like one line of cheese at the bottom. Sebulge with the all-spin in the middle of the down stack. And now we have to start to see our gravity margin as we are getting close to that 2.5 minute point. We don't get to see it for that long because Sebulge finds the point. MKO versus stick spin here. Nuclear Bread with that first back-to-back, they break it up at the top here. They have a bit of a down stack going, but Sebulge is able to mitigate most of it. And that misdrop with, I'm not sure whether the I or the S was the first misdrop there, but we are at 8-all now. I thought there was some DT cannon shenanigans going on. I was about to get excited. I love plonking. All right, so now that our round has actually started, Nuclear Bread is the one who has the back-to-back. They do break it. Not really too much of the messy garbage gets onto Sebulge's board. A little bit of a 10 spike there. A little bit of an LST stack going. As Nuclear Bread has this 6-3 garbage, trying to decide what exactly to do with it here. And of course, the answer is all spins. Never mind. I don't know what I'm looking at. Sebulge finds that back-to-back. Has that 5 down at the bottom of the board. And, oh, what are we going for? Oh, okay, I see. The TSS over the well is what we're going for. But we don't even take it. We just break back-to-back and go for a 12 spike instead. Nuclear Bread, little down stack combo. Another little down stack combo. Yeah, these rounds are starting to get long. Players starting to get a little fatigued here. A little bit of plonking from Sebulge there. They do have that not super great eye dependency on the board, and that is going to force them to break back-to-back. Nuclear Bread maintains their back-to-back throughout this whole thing. Breaks it just then, T-spin single into a quad, hoping to pressure, but Sebulge is able to mitigate all of it. And yeah, ooh, okay. Some blows back and forth, but Sebulge with the spike to end it. Sometimes without too much screen watching, you just have no idea which one of your spikes is going to kill. And it really felt like that was one of those where you're like, all right, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. And all of a sudden one of them kills. So there's another one. All right, friends, first to 3. First to 3. I know how math works. Nope, first to 2. All right. Nuclear Bread has this first back-to-back. Is that a DT? Are they going to take the DT? No, they just take the down stack. They were looking for the like floating T-spin setup. But Sebulge with a little bit of a messy board. Not the most ideal shapes to work with here, as Nuclear Bread has the combo down stack with a couple of T-spins in the middle of it. Ooh, well covered right now for Nuclear Bread. We're definitely on the ropes a little bit there, but ooh, the 23 spike with the back-to-back break from Sebulge is going to stop Nuclear Bread in their tracks. Hello? STSD. Don't really know if he meant to throw that piece in there, but it works. Love to see in Season 2 how you can just throw the wrong piece into an STSD and it just works and doesn't break your back-to-back, because that's how Season 2 works. Back-to-back from Nuclear Bread down at the bottom of the board, trying to continue that back-to-back. Has some all spins right here, preventing that clean garbage from getting over. Breaks back-to-back with a 15 spike. Sabulch up at the top here doesn't really have well access. The 2 eyepieces are not enough to get them out of there, and that is going to bring it to match point for Nuclear Bread. Yeah. MKO versus... That one's not SDPC spin, and that's not SDPC. So once it's not either of those two, I have no idea which one it is. Sabulch with a clean well and some T-spin set up over it. This is a really strong 4-5 stack. They find the combo, or they find the back-to-back. They find the... There it is, the 15 spikes. But Nuclear Bread has the eyepiece to handle this. They were looking for that screen watching enough, and... both players with a little bit of skimming. It looks like Nuclear Bread is looking to start building that back-to-back. Never mind. Just takes the all-spin into a skim. And Sabulch up the top here. They have the eyepiece they need. They get into the well. 15 spike. As Nuclear Bread finds that well access again, gets into it. Both players just trading blows here, trying to figure out which one is going to kill. Flonking. Love to see it. Nuclear Bread choosing which L or J spin to go for there. Whenever I see a player pause to think and stop doing a move, I'm like, which one are they going for instead of it? I do like that one. That was the stylish move. Sabulch with a 1-8 stack right here. That is definitely going to eat your eyepieces and your back-to-back. And the S misdrop is going to be it for the set, and Nuclear Bread takes that in another close one. Yeah, very fun, very cool. And here is our bracket. And so Nuclear Bread is going to face UI Galaxy soon TM. All right, and our next losers bracket match here is Muke versus Civ. We can see by rank, stats, seeding, Muke is favored here, but it's not over at all. It's definitely, you know, the lower players always got a chance. Someone can always play super well. We haven't seen too many upsets today, but I've definitely seen much bigger upsets in these brackets. And we are just getting our players in the lobby and ready to go. Sabulch says, I feel like I locked in way too late into that set. Okay, I'm way too dizzy. Good night, chat. All right. Looks like our players are in the lobby. And yeah, looks like we are starting our warm-up. A little bit of MKO on both sides. Oh, hello, the power stack from Muke, the 21 spike. That was a fast one. That was pretty too. I liked that. And we are off in this loser side, first to 11. TKI from both sides into a nice little LST situation. Though both players are going for the same kind of strategy, slightly different routes here. Civ gets into that well. Muke looking to get into the well. Also, a little bit of plonking action. Civ with the higher back-to-back right now, but Muke very closely behind here. Looking for... I have no clue what piece Muke was looking for there, but that's not looking good for them at all. They're finding a couple of clutch clears. Okay. Not quite enough there as Civ finds the first point. Gadget, I'm gonna play a 100-line cheese race while this plays out. Let us know how you do. Gasho versus PCF. Civ up at the top here. Ooh, that team has dropped over the well. Not what you want, and 1-all. Gasho again from Civ. Muke with just straight up an eye spin as an opener. I honestly love that. Both using all spins to build this back-to-back here. Civ gonna set up, okay, the mini S-spin over the board. Love that, love that. Muke slowing down, likely thinking about all spins, going for the T-spin single instead into the combo down stack. That puts about half a board's worth of garbage into Civ's queue. They do accept it. Slowing down a little bit at the top here is not what you want to do, and that is actually going to cost the point. TKIs. Just going for those T-spins right here. Muke starts off a couple of all spins, but is favoring T-spins so far. Has some S-spins for the fans, but Muke breaks back to back there and is faced with the -8 up the top of the board. Civ does break. Civ at the top of the board, trying to get into this garbage, and finds the 13 spike. Muke with a nice little cut copy set up into some all spins, into a back-to-back break, and Civ misdrops the eyepiece. Some nice little all spin shenanigans on Muke's side. Civ with what appears to be a misdrop. Yeah, they're a little slow in trying to get this sorted over here. And I'm not quite sure if that was supposed to be a prophecy setup or something else, but Muke has the T-spins ready to go. Muke has the all-spins ready to go, and they do have that back-to-back that's going to start stacking up. Civ finds their own back-to-back and finds access to the well. Muke with a nice little T-spin triple setup that is just a little too greedy for their own good, and Civ finds the point. Love to see the DT cannon. Absolutely love to see it. Civ up at the top of the board, forced to break back-to-back, slowing down just a little bit here as Muke is setting up a C-spin. That was a cute C-spin setup. I liked that, and that is going to be enough to kill. That was another good DT-able bag, but Muke does not go for the DT cannon. Understandable. I get it. Muke forced a down stack here, and Civ finds a lot of attack. Muke does not have the pieces to get out of that. Stick spin over from Muke. They do finish up their opener and go into an LST stack over here. Civ has that back-to-back and is operating a little bit slower here. T-spin double out of a T-spin triple setup. Civ breaks back-to-back and has a J misdrop on the board. Muke up at the top here doesn't really have the pieces for the all spins continuation, so they just choose to break back-to-back and start on the down stack. Civ at the bottom here has back-to-back, breaks it. Muke's board is not in a good spot right now. They find what they need to get out of that, but that is quite the mess waiting for them underneath. Civ appears to have a misdrop. Muke downstacks all the way through that messy garbage, finds the combo, sets up. I don't even know what that is. Finds some all spins in the middle of it. I think that falls under the category of that you can just make a bizarre collection of overhangs and eventually you'll find the pieces that work for it. Civ up at the top has to break that back-to-back and covers the well in the process. There's a little bit of cheesed up garbage that they have to worry about right now. Muke up at the top, Civ with the TST, the pressure, the 13. Not enough to put Muke in a bind, but they are sitting with that -8 right now. They have their all spins to get through this. Gets that back-to-back there with that mini T-spin, maintains the back-to-back, continues it with the all spins, breaks it. Civ does not find well access in time, and that is going to be a point for Muke. Civ looking for some all spins, but starting off really slowly there. And yeah, that lack of speed is going to give a fast point to Muke. DT cannon. Love to see it. Love the all spins continuations out of the DT cannon. Civ up at the top with some all spins of their own. They break back-to-back, sets up a couple more all spins with a nice 14 spike there. Muke with a 19 spike in response is going to find the round. TKI is here. Don't know if that was a misdrop or not from Civ. Kind of looks like it is with how they're handling it. And is that misdrop going to be the death of them? Looks like they will be alive for now, but Muke is building up this back-to-back. Has a cut copy and then another floating, and then is that like an overhang for an S or a Z spin triple? Of course it is. And we hear the noises as more back-to-back is going off, and a fin. Okay, yeah, nice one. All right. Is it fin to win? Is it fin to win? Fin to win. There we go. Choose or not go well. I'm sorry to hear that sketched. There's that. I'm pretty sure it's sailboat, but not 100%. Not enough to say it type deal. Civ setting up some all spins. They break back-to-back, only to be greeted with that -8 at the top there, and oof, the J misdrop is going to bring Muke close to that victory. Ooh, misdrops from Civ. Oh, hello? Art class? And Muke is going to be at match point here. Civ with the STSD setup here, and Muke with the J misdrop. Let's see if they can find their way out of that in time. Ooh. Civ up at the top of the board here, but has that 10, sends that back to back, but that doesn't really do much to Muke here, who's kind of just building up a 4-wide. Yeah, that was a 4-wide. All right. Civ up at the top here. Muke setting up a side 4-wide now for the fans. A little bit of a pause with that S-spin there. And yeah, Muke is just seeing if they get the kill, which they don't. And so now you got to put down some... Muke, you got to put down more pieces than that. They set up a lucky C-spin. Just some insane burst speed from Muke here, but Civ is staying alive here. Is that like... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my... This is insane. Are you gonna break? Okay, Muke breaks with a 24 spike. Civ has a little bit, but yeah, no. Just going to close it out there with quite an interesting round. Quite a stylish round from Muke there. All right, and here is our bracket again. So Muke will go on to face Gigawatt here. And yeah, we may take a little bit of a pause. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that was a fun one. That was fun. I do like seeing the all spins. So while we are figuring things out, I do see the players for our next match are ready to go. All right, yeah. UI Galaxy versus Nuclear Bread here. And again, this is a losers round match. 4 seed versus our 7 seed. So, okay, no warm-up. We are heading straight into our match here. All right. UI Galaxy going for the SDPC spin where Nuclear Bread, yeah, just kind of has a misdrop at the start, but finds the down stack, finds the eyepiece. UI Galaxy is just layering on that speed right now. We do see that 4-4-4 TPS to end it out. More stick spin activity. Nope, never mind. That is TKI. Nuclear Bread has a couple of misdrops that chain together, and that is not looking good for them because UI Galaxy just pulls a 21 spike out of nowhere. And this is going quite fast this far. UI Galaxy just sprint stacking to start this off. Going 5 PPS and misdropping as a result of it. I spin to fix it. And boy, is that a messy board that UI Galaxy is going to have to deal with. So Nuclear Bread does have a bit of an opening here. They get their way into the well, have a couple of T-spins set up, ready to go. A nice little 16 spike is going to find the round. TKIs. Yeah, I don't know about nuclear bread, but whenever I get speed gapped as bad as this, I normally just have to sit there and hope that they misdrop. Obviously, these players are a bit more accustomed to playing in tournament matches than me, but I feel like UI Galaxy is not the type of player you want to be sitting there waiting for them to misdrop. So, hoping Nuclear Bread has a better strategy for this speed gap than I do. '21 spike from Nuclear Bread is going to put UI Galaxy on the ropes. They do not have the pieces they need to get out, and we are tied up here. Some very nice stacking there and using that burst speed to their advantage. Stick spinning, but a misdrop. Nuclear Bread with some all spins to fix the misdrop and another eye misdrop there. It's something that's pretty easy to skim out of, but UI Galaxy is just in a 4-5 power stack and finds the 25 stack or the 25 spike there. Yeah, completely man-made stack on UI Galaxy's side. That speed allowing them to upstack, but also causing that misdrop. And then it's a really nice all spin sticks for that misdrop. Nice little STSD at the bottom of the board. Just gotta hope you don't get 1 in 10, and you got 1 in 10. All right, so now that turns into a 2 wide with quite the mess at the bottom of the board. Yeah, you know what? That's what happens. That's what happens when you set up an STSD at the bottom of the board. Sometimes it feels like the game just gives you the worst RNG possible. And speaking of unfortunate, oof, those misdrops from Nuclear Bread on that TKI, just, yeah, UI Galaxy just finding the kill there. Nuclear Bread types in chat 5 PPS. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't do anything about it. UI Galaxy on the down stack here is there is a bit of cheese on the board. It seems like putting the cheese on the board to prevent them from building back-to-back is not a bad strategy. But Nuclear Bread is just stacking cleanly right now. UI Galaxy has that clean stack. Nuclear Bread finds an 18 spike, but that doesn't really do too much to UI Galaxy. A little bit of plonking on Nuclear Bread's side. Gotta respect it. UI Galaxy, though, is building up that back-to-back. We see that 7. We're about to see that -8 on Nuclear Bread's board, and that is their notification to speed up. They do defend against the entire back-to-back break from UI Galaxy there, as they didn't really have too much follow-up. And now UI Galaxy is on the down stack again, as Nuclear Bread has this fractal. Just goes for a combo down stack here. Nice little combo down stack from UI Galaxy. Kind of both players just sending cheese to the other's board right now. Nuclear Bread doing a really great job at pressuring right here. Doesn't really have the pieces they need, so going to be on the down stack right now, but UI Galaxy has a couple of clean wells right here and just absolutely tears into them with a 17 spike, continuing it out, finding back-to-back, breaking back-to-back. Nuclear Bread with a spike in response, but UI Galaxy is not really going to be phased by it, sends the 18, gets into the well, and Nuclear Bread is now left with a messy garbage board against UI Galaxy's relatively clean board, which is kind of just a recipe for disaster, and that is going to be the round. I don't even know what opener UI Galaxy was going for. That may have been a sprint stack again, but Nuclear Bread was going for the MKO there. Nuclear Bread misdrops that S piece. That's going to slow them down a little bit. Now they're up the top, and they do not find the T piece in time. Yeah, UI Galaxy just opening at 5 PPS. What else is new? The 17 spike, and then just continuing me to go again. Nuclear Bread misdrops that eye piece over the well. Now just into the combo down stack. Again, I have horrible instincts when I'm getting speed gapped, but at this point is where my fight or flight responses would be kicking in. So Nuclear Bread doing a very good job of handling this, but yeah, you really can't do anything against that. UI Galaxy misdrops the stick spin and just decides to 9-0 stack on top of it. Thank you so much for taking the washing machine. That made my day. You gotta take the washing machines for the style points, for the fans, for me. All right, Nuclear Bread in this 5-4 stack. UI Galaxy just pressing a lot of keys very quickly. And, ooh, that O misdrop. Or that wasn't even, was that a misdrop? Nah, they just didn't have the pieces they need. I saw the O over the well and thought that that might have been a misdrop, but looked over at the stream and oh my sprint stack. Oh my 6 PPS. At this point, I feel like I summoned this by calling out their speed. But yeah. Okay, if you can open at 6 PPS, I guess open at 6 PPS. Why not? PCO stack versus the 6-3 up stack. Nuclear Bread just continuing on with this clean 6-3 stack and chooses to down stack that into a 16 spike. UI Galaxy trying to spin that L piece in there and yeah, types in chat, how do you do that spin? I do not know the answer to that. Yeah, I'm not the person to ask, so anybody else can answer that. So UI Galaxy does misdrop their opener, so Nuclear Bread, who was going for the same opener, now has a bit of the advantage in that concern, but yeah, it does have to just break back to back and try their best to stack. Ooh, UI Galaxy with just a few too many misdrops at the top of the board. Yeah, a couple of like misdrops that compounded into each other. Nuclear Bread types IDK in response to how do you do that spin? Nobody knows. Nice little STSD there from Nuclear Bread, but UI Galaxy with a 20 spike is going to force Nuclear Bread to break back to back with a gorgeous counter spike of their own. And that's a very nice scoreline for us. Stick spin versus sprint stacking. Nuclear Bread breaks that back to back, is just trying to stack for their life right now. I totally get that. It's always weird hearing the audio of the fact that UI Galaxy is soft dropping almost every single piece before they hard drop it. Ooh, Nuclear Bread up at the top finds the pieces that they need in time. Very nice T-spin forecast that's going to find them the point. Hello? Winnable? Winnable? I believe in the upset. I believe in this here. I would assume, though, that UI Galaxy is going to try to start tightening up the gameplay, trying to avoid those misdrops and kind of get their head in the game to try to finish off this set. But I always love rooting for the underdog. Who doesn't? Nuclear Bread trying to build that back-to-back, finds that back-to-back, continues it. Some really nice back-to-back there. UI Galaxy up at the top doesn't have the out right there. Nuclear Bread bringing this close. I love to see this. UI Galaxy types, I think you're the craziest X rank in Tetrio, low-key. Oh, I love that. I agree. And by craziest, I mean like slightly questioning your sanity, but like in a good way, for real, for real. '15 spike from UI Galaxy. Nuclear Bread doesn't really have the pieces they need up at the top here. They have that T piece, they have well access, but UI Galaxy is just layering on pressure here. Ooh, and UI Galaxy appears to misdrop that eye piece. They have what they need to get into the well, though. Nuclear Bread finds the back-to-back, sends the back-to-back, puts a little bit of cheese onto UI Galaxy's board. Combos on both sides. UI Galaxy with a 16 spike. Nuclear Bread does not have the out, and that is going to bring us to match point on UI Galaxy's side. Sprint stacking. 6-3 on both sides. Oh no, oh no, getting a little too greedy there. They find the out, but UI Galaxy finds the spike, and that is going to be game. That was an exciting one to see. That was really fun. I'm so glad we got to see that match because that was cool. I liked that. UI Galaxy says, nah, you got me like actually sweating with the shivers. Dude, you're popping off. I agree. I agree. No, that was really cool. If only I could play like this in TL. I love that response. All right, so I'm gonna see what is going on here. Okay, because it looks like we may be swapping comms here. And yeah, looks like we are set to go. Hello. Yeah, so we have Danny here who's going to be with you for the rest of the bracket. Got some really exciting matches ahead of us. So yeah, looking forward to seeing those.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Let's take care. See you. Alrighty, guys. My name's Danny. I've commented before, but this is sort of my comeback arc thing, I guess. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Sunday or Monday, depending where you are. And yeah, we'll be continuing the matches from here. So yep. Our next match is Giga versus Muke. Pretty close game, judging by the TR and the versus score in APM. And they both have similar PPS, which makes me think that this is gonna be a relatively close game. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I know that Muke specializes a little bit in speed and striding, while Giga sort of specializes a bit of both, like timing and striding. So yeah, it's gonna be a mix for Giga. And then it's gonna be one for Muke when it comes to striding. But both players are pretty strong, so yeah, we'll see how both of them play. C3 versus C5, so we'll see how this goes. And we're just waiting for both of them to start, and here we go. Muke versus Giga. Giga starting with LST. You going for a bit of an upstack, and you having a bit of a messy garbage situation at the top, and Giga is continuing going for upstacking, trying to build up surge, which is very crucial, you know, in today's meta. Oh, Giga sends that surge in, and Muke's kind of struggling to place pieces a little bit. It seems like it's a bit of a rough start for Muke, but they're still hanging on there. Meanwhile, Giga, she's still upstacking, and unfortunately because of Muke's messiness, it's gonna cost a round. Giga is up 1-0. Let's see what you can do to retaliate, and accepts a lot of garbage from Giga, but still hanging in there though. However, Giga is still in the upstack. He's trying to look for an opportunity to build a surge. Does have to skim a bit to fix it up. Yeah, Muke is way up at the top, and oh, not able to get to the T piece in time. It's gonna be another round for Giga. I believe Muke was going for Sailboat, I think. This is the first. It's been a while I've seen that opener. Giga seems to be cleaning up her stack a little bit. Meanwhile, you finding this opportunity to try to upstack and maybe build Surge off, looking to get a point, and has to cancel Surge due to Giga's pressure and retaliation. Meanwhile, Giga is still showing that she's able to build more pressure regardless of counseling. But Muke was not going to let that happen, and Muke takes the round. Alright, we see Muke at the top, and Giga was trying to time Muke's attack, and not able to get the J over to the left. That's gonna be a tie game. It seems that Muke is starting to wake up a bit. Well, Giga is still trying to fix up her staff to try to find a comfortable board state. But right now, Muke is sort of in control a little bit, as their board state does a DT cannon, and does opt for a bit of skimming to try to pressure up Giga a little bit more. And Muke back on the upstack. Meanwhile, Giga's finding a way to get back to a better board state, and does so with a nice combo. And Muke seems to be unfazed by it. Right, right now, Muke is at the bottom. Giga is still trying to figure out their stack. But right now, Mew seems to be in control when it comes to Surge, but does cancel it early. only sending a little bit, and that gives Giga a little bit of time to retaliate. So far, so far, both players are a bit unfazed at the moment. Mute still trying to find an upstack to try to build off Surge, but has to clean up their board a bit. But now Giga is in control, and Mute being put up at the top doesn't have the right pieces, and that's gonna be a round for Giga, taking back the lead. And Mute ties it up again. Quick round by Mute. So far, Giga is timing the attack from Muke, and Muke is back at the bottom right now, and Giga pushed up at the top. He's got to act quickly, and does so nicely, but right now Giga has the control in board state. Muke's trying to figure out a comfortable position to be able to start off to retaliate against Giga. Oh, Giga on the ropes right now. Muke has a better board state, but Giga. Oh, that clutch from Muke. Is gonna use that to be able to downstack it, and now Muke is back at the bottom. Giga pushed up top, and right now it's a a little bit of a battle right now of who gets the control. But right now, Muke. I think he was trying to do a T-spin setup, but misdrop that. Mute misdrops the T, and that's a gruesome misdrop. It's gonna have to act quickly. And oh no! With that weird with that weird pieces on the left side of Muke's board, with the right when not without the right pieces. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get out of that. That will cost a point. Giga taking the lead once again. Oh, that T-spin fine from Muke. And Giga trying to figure out their board a little bit. But she's still in control though. I mean, not out of it yet. Muke survives Giga's attack a little bit, but unfortunately Muke wasn't able to get out in time with the stack they had. It looked like a kind of three sort of stack. But it does seem like in this game, Muke opens up with a nice up stack. It's gonna be utilizing that to build off some surge off of it. But Giga, knowing for her timing, still is going to retaliate against Mew, and it's something we talked about. It's something I talked about earlier before the match that Giga is good at timing, and she will use that ability to time attacks whenever necessary, and it shows when Mew sense a bit of some pressure, and Giga tanks it. But it doesn't seem like in that match as Mew was able to outpressure Giga. Giga's still holding a 2-point lead. Let's see what Mew could do to take the lead back once again. So Mew having a rough start right now, and with that board stake, those misdrops are not unlike they're not likable. Unfortunately for me, that's gonna cost his game. Giga now has a 3-point lead. Giga at the top, and it has to figure out a way out, and not able to get the eyepiece in time. You did have a better board state though, and unfortunately that's gonna be the game for Muke. Muke looking to come back from this. Builds a DT cannon, Giga, and a TKI. And so far, Muke in a comfortable position. Giga looking to try to tell a good comfortable position as well, but it seems a bit in Muke's favor considering they're at the bottom. But Giga is well known to come back from situations, and it shows right here as Giga takes another point off Muke. So right now, a 3-point deficit once again. Muke is gonna have to try to figure out another strategy to come back. Oh, but Muke wasn't prepared for that, and right now it's a 4-point deficit. And so far it seems to be in Giga's favor. Like she's able to take control of the board most of the time. And Muke, while does try to take the control back, does ends up having to fumble a little bit and being pushed up at the top. Muke is gonna have to change it up around if they want to continue in the game. Muke with a nice TSD into a TSS. And so far, nothing much is happening right now. They're both seen at a neutral state. Giga does have some cheese though, and is looking to clean it up and find a good board state. And Nuke does have a little bit of messy garbage. It is a bit pushed up at the top, but tanks it. Tries to do a T spin, but couldn't get that T over. But there's some compensation though. Nuke is able to get out of it just fine. But Giga just 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 continuing to pressure Muke, and oh, I understand, but I think that was a bit of I don't think that was a good decision from Muke there. If they were able to get to the IPs just fast enough, I think they would have lived. But chose to chose to place the O there to try to skim a little bit, but it didn't work out in their favor. And Muke is pushed up at the top, and that's not a way to. Oh no, that's not a good way to get out of the match. Giga takes the round and will move on to face UI Galaxy. So it, so good game. So it's a good game from both players. I mean, Mute did their best, but unfortunately, there was some decision making there, and some a bit of fatigue. It seemed like when I've seen Mute play, and because of that, Giga was able to take control most of the time when she has the a comfortable board state, able to utilize Surge and be able to out pressure Muke. But Muke did their best though. And now we're moving on to face OSW versus Bachas. So OSW is a bit of a speedy one when it comes to versus. And we've seen it happen in various of games like um, TEC and PPT, but it also happens in Tetria too. And it always though he takes that speed and efficiency into Tetrio very seriously, and you wouldn't sleep on this guy if he's doing good if he's doing good um, if he's doing good. Like on a good day, if he's doing consistently good with speed and efficiency, yeah, that it's gonna be really troublesome to deal with. Batches though, Batches though, on the other hand, is lacking a bit of PPS, so it might be a speed gap. But I think we've seen before that Batches is able to survive a little bit against some top players, regardless of speed. So we'll see what Batches could do against OSW. Matches is about to start. Said matches. That sounded like botches. Oh no. Um. All right. So we have botches going for trying to build up some surge. Misdrops that Z though. You're gonna have to break it, and also you'll try to use that opportunity to capitalize off of botches mistake, and that will be a warm up game. Not the real thing yet, but just a warm up game. Also known as their seed 1 and 2, so it should be really interesting to see how Lazovian and Bouchers do. Especially considering it's a big difference in speed. Well, it might seem like it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, if the other player playing consistently good, then if the other player with a high speed is playing really good, like consistent wise, then it will be a bit of trouble. Yeah, like I said, but speed doesn't matter though. There are many other players that are able to play against speedy players, and from this round, it seemed like OSW wasn't having it at the top. That will be an early win for Batches for round 1. And we see that a bit of speed from OSW, and that's gonna have to force Batches to cancel. And it's not looking good right now. Batches at the top, and Batches has to figure out something quickly. Oh, greedy for the TSD. I don't think that's something I would do against in a situation like that. Batches is going out to downstack this, but isn't able to get down quick enough. Also, utilizing Batches at the top and that greedy TSD to find the win. Right now, it's a tie game. OSW setting up a side well. Oh, OSW was trying to go for that TSD, but isn't able to get it in time to continue off the surge. Batches is going to downstack this a little bit. And oh, I love that. I love that S spin from Batches, but oh, that counter attack from OSW going to put Batches on the edge there. OSW taking the lead. And oh, Batches going for center four wide and looking and finds the spike to literally push OSW to big heights. I don't think OSW was ready for that. Oh my gosh. So Batches tying it up again, and OSW is looking to take the lead back once again, and is trying to pressure Batches. Batches misdrops that that J piece, and and that will be OSW taking the lead once again. Batches misdropping that S, but finds a way out in a nice manner. I mean, also you trying to find a comfortable board state to let it rip, but right, right now, Batches is trying to figure out a way to get out from the gruesomeness of OSW, and like I said before, if OSW is if a player like OSW is playing consistently, has the speed and overall has the better board state, then yeah, it's gonna be a rough time for, to get out from there. But Batches has shown a little bit that it doesn't really matter to him. Which is with a round. It's 3-4. One more point for Batches to tie it up. Also be going for a triple double. Yeah, Batches going for a TSD at the top, slightly at the top a little bit. But OSW, I don't know what OSW was trying to do. It was trying to find a continuation, but wasn't able to find it, and unfortunately, it had an odd stack to deal with that blocked the well. It'll be a point for Batches, and it will tie up the game once again. Batches finds an interesting skim. Oh, Batches blocked the board up a little bit, and OSW capitalizing off of that miss drop, and yeah, OSW takes the lead once again. Continue on the lead, not letting Batches take the lead. Batches is looking to take the lead again, but time could tell right now. So OSW is a bit pushed up at the board and not able to get to that eyepiece in time or have any sort of T-spin setup. And Batches will capitalize off of that. Tying it up once again. Batches looking to take the lead once again. OSW trying their best not to let Batches take the lead. Batches, what are you doing? Oh, that's not a situation to be in, Batches. That fractal setup was a bit risky, considering OSW did had some pressure ready to send. right now, both players building off Surge. Bat just has to cancel though. And OSW sending that Surge. And yeah, just able to counter Batches and getting Batches put off guard. It's a 2-point lead for OSW. Batches with a weird J misdrop, but able to fix it though. But but as I say that, more J misdrops flying in. And what is going on? For a minute I saw one player misdrops, and then the next minute on the other side another horrible misdrop happens. Unfortunate for OSW, Batches will take another round, cutting the lead to 1. I think Batches was trying to look for a bit of a surge continuation, but wasn't able to. Ended up having to stack um, 2 stories up on both sides, trying to get to the S spin, but wasn't able to. Also, you giving the lead another 2 points, and now it's a nice score. OSW now has a 3-point lead against Batches. Batches looking to set up another well. I thought Batches was setting up 4 wide, but looks like they weren't. But OSW did send a PC though, and that totally got Batches off guard there. OSW doing a bit of DPC, and Batches is trying to look to build a little bit of surge. But OSW finds a nice down stack, and it's not looking good for Batches at the top, but able to get out of there. However, OSW now is the one being in trouble. And now Batches is in trouble now. He's gonna have to act quickly, but yeah, that ends up blocking the hole there. OSW taking the set. GG's of both players. It's like what I said in the beginning. Like when it comes to having a comfortable board state and having many continuation options, utilize it to advantage, and that's what OSW did against Batches. Although Batches was able to get out a few times, there were moments there where Batches was having some train of thought there near the top, or having some misdrops, and that usually would cause some games of Batches. But either way, Batches showed some survival there and some great surge, and yeah, and was able to keep it close against OSW. So OSW moves on to grand finals, I think. Batches will be knocked down to losers. And now we have Giga versus UI Galaxy. And it's gonna be an interesting set. And again, and yeah, again another speed gap game, as UI's Galaxy is known to utilize speed to his advantage. With 167 APM, it's gonna be a bit difficult for Giga, but it does seem like they both have similar versus scores, so I don't think it's not gonna matter too much. But like I said before, it's not just speed, but it's more consistency as well. So it's up to the players that who has the most consistency and have a more comfortable board state. They have the advantage. They have control of the set of the rounds. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see these players fight out, especially in the speed gap game. So right now we're just waiting for the game for the players to be ready. And here we go. All right, right off rip, we have both players doing triple double. It seems like, or UI Galaxy doing the SDPC, and UI Galaxy will be the first one to be pushed up. Actually, both players are pushed up. Actually, what the heck? But UI Galaxy does have a good board state, so we'll see what Giga could do. I mean, Giga is at the bottom though, so it doesn't seem too much of a trouble for now. And Giga now has a comfortable board state to be able to build some stuff. But let's have to cut off the surge a little bit. And UI Galaxy trying to downstack from the top, and yeah, Giga takes the warm-up round. Finding the skim and finding a bit of a clean board state to just be able to finish it off. Giga will take the warm-up round, and now it will be the real deal soon. Oh, a quick round from Giga. I mean, UI Galaxy. Giga was pushed up a bit high up, and I'm not sure it was nothing. I'm not sure if it was because of train of thought or something, or a weird misdrop. But that round though does have a misdrop, and UI Galaxy is gonna utilize that to their advantage. Right now, it seems like UI Galaxy is off to a good start. Does misdrop a bit of the L, and now UI Galaxy is setting up LST. It'll be a bit hard for Giga, but UI Galaxy does have to bail on it. Oh no! That eyepiece misdrop. I mean, was trying to kick the eyepiece over there, but yeah, a bit too soon, and that's gonna be a round for Giga. Giga looking to take the lead once again. Um, and Giga ends up with a pretty good board state. Not sure what Giga was doing there, but UI Galaxy is pushed up a bit and has some cheese to clean up. Meanwhile, Giga does have a bit of control in terms of the board, but does have to cancel search. It misdrops the eye, but UI Galaxy does misdrop of their own, and that will give Giga a bit of time to get out and take another round. So right now the score is tied up. UI Galaxy setting up LST does break a little bit of the LST, but still continuing surge. Although with that stack, is gonna have to bail. And right now, Giga using UI Galaxy's mistakes to her advantage. That's gonna give Giga the lead, 3-2. So right now, well, UI Galaxy Giga was playing a bit slow at the top, but because of UI Galaxy comfortable board state and the speed advantage, it was gonna be a bit difficult for Giga to get out of there. Right now it's tied up once again. UI Galaxy a bit pushed up at the top. Giga does have a good board state. Gonna have to downstack it though. Blocks a bit of the well. The thing was trying to look for a continuation of the multiplier. And Giga's pushed up bit by bit at the top, and UI Galaxy to take another lead. That pressure from UI Galaxy having a good board state, and meanwhile Giga is trying to find a way to get out of the mess at the top, but UI's UI Galaxy's consistent and quick pressure is gonna give Giga a very hard time to get out of there. It seems like that. It seems like that UI Galaxies has more of the upper hand in this match when when it comes to consistency and the speed, as mentioned before. But Giga is trying to prove it wrong, though, as Giga takes another point, putting UI Galaxy off guard there. Ooh. Giga pushed up a bit at the top. UI Galaxy looking to continue up stack, but does have to bail a little bit. And Giga finding a way down has a better board state, and UI Galaxy with those mistraps, there didn't seem to be a continuation. The score is tied up once again. It's kind of like ping pong, to be honest, with a bit of quick and easy sets. And as I say that eyepiece, once again, UI Galaxy was trying to kick it over, but unfortunately, this wasn't the case this time. Well, UI Galaxy misdropping the eyepiece again, but it doesn't seem unfazed though. As Giga is having a bit of trouble with their board, but UI Galaxy now has some trouble with their board. Oh, really hard right now. It's looking a bit. I was gonna say neutral, but Giga is at the top right now, and UI Galaxy does have the better board state right now to just continue sending constant pressure. And oh, not able to get to the eyepiece. Giga was pushed up just enough to block out the remaining pieces. Giga pushed up a bit at the top, UI Galaxy at the bottom, but it seems a neutral right now. Giga Giga looking to set up something. Misdrops the eye, and UI Galaxy having another clean board state once again. And those misdrops from Giga, those were some horrible misdrops. I don't think there was a way to get out of there. Yeah, that's gonna be an immediate top out. Fortunately. But Giga looking to get a bit of some revenge there. and send UI Galaxy to the top once again. Getting put off guard. It's now tied up once again. Oh no! Another failed kick attempt for the ZPs. It's it's really horrible when those happen because you're trying to play quickly and when you're playing quickly your train of thought moves quickly and you don't have much time to react, but it's an unfortunate case for UI Galaxy. Oh, UI Galaxy with the constant pressure, Giga having trouble with the board at the top. UI Galaxy is close to tying it up once again. And right now it's a close game. It's close in quick games, but yeah, UI Galaxy bringing this back to a tie, and it's a close game so far. 9-9. We might see a tiebreaker here soon. But yeah, so far it's been like quick and easy sets. So far, I was gonna say that everything seemed neutral, but UI Galaxy with a quick pressure. And I'm gonna take it to match point. We'll see what Giga could do to take it back from it. Oh, and like what was at the top. UI Galaxy able to get out from there, and we'll see what UI Galaxy could do here. Giga having a rough moment with their board right now. Does find a donation, and it finds a good stack to just LST, and UI Galaxy was trying to set up some floaters, but unfortunately getting caught off guard by Giga's mid-game LST. That's gonna be a tiebreaker right now, ladies and gentlemen. Might see something crazy here in these matches. UI Galaxy is looking to put the game away, or looking to put the game away. Let's see who. Let's see who gets it. Right now, Giga having a bit of a board complication right now, but able to fix it up. UI Galaxy does have some board complication though. But seems like they seem okay for now. They do have some stuff to clean up though. And oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh no! Wow, what a game! What a game from both players. It felt like ping pong, honestly. Like it's quick. It was quick sets from both players, and and even though there were some moments where some decisive decision, train of thought plays a toll on this game. I mean, they seem to never give up. In Giga, made a bit of a comeback toward near the end, and that was a good way to close out that game. Oh. So we have Botches versus Gigawatt, and and yeah, Like, I mean, what we see before from batches is that, I mean, they play a bit slow and they do make a bit of decisive decisions, but they shown a bit of moments that they're able to survive against some attacks, and they're really good at building surge too. So I mean, I don't know what will be the difference from this game. It will be the same as the OSW one, or will it be a different game plan? But we will see. And Giga looking to continue on this consistency to maybe face off OSW in grand finals. And oh, Giga with the center four wide, but it didn't seem to do much though. That's the down stack from it, and Botch. What the heck, Botch? What? 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 Wait. What? Um, I don't know what Batra was doing, or I don't know if it was intentional swap out or some a bit of an input press, I think. But it seemed like they were, but it did seem like they had a good surge going. They were trying to go for the L, but I didn't. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Vachas is trolling or I don't know. Right now, game starting. Yeah, it's a real deal, so no more trolling anymore. So Giga's at the top. Batches at the bottom right now. So right now Batches does have the advantage when it comes to building surge. But their board looks like they're in a moment where they're gonna have to break it, yeah. Batches retaliates the surge, but couldn't get out with those misdrops. It's gonna be an early point for Batches. Giga setting up LST, just setting up triple double, or I think it was STBC. However, their board state was a bit odd at the top, and they had the right pieces to get out. And that's gonna be another tie, 101. I'm seeing 101 so far this few games. It comes to show that these players are not looking to rest soon. Giga's pushed up at the top. Bachas does have a good board state to continue the surge. And I think I've seen this from Giga a lot. They're able to find some continuation with surge like that one. Like they're able to do surge well. So yeah, I mean it's a big advantage for Bachas that they're able to keep it up against Giga. Then they might be able to take this. It's going so far. Right now, Giga is. Oh, those misdrops from Bachas. Those were really horrible misdrops. That's gonna give Giga an immediate win. I think Bachas was trying to set up something but misdropped it, opting for STSD. But Giga, oh no, Giga was trying to set up LST, but a bit of a complication with some pieces there, and yeah, that's gonna be rough to fix it. Bachas taking the lead. And right now, it seems like both players are good right now. No one's dangerously close. Well, as I say that, but I mean, Gigawatt disrupts the eye, and though they're able to get out of it just fine. So I don't think it matters too much. Batches, however, it does have some misdrops of their own. Has to skim a little bit, trying to find a way back down, and will do so just nicely. However, Giga does have a good board state to try to build off pressure and maybe surge possibly. But as I say that, Batches finds a way to retaliate and stop Giga from building something. Oh, oh no. Oh, a bit of pressure with the skimming from Gigawatt. I think Batches had it out there, but I think it was a bit of a panic there that they accidentally misdropped the eye in the process, and Giga ties it up once again. And oh, I just pushed up a bit at the top, and oh, the bits of garbage was able to accidentally misplace, accidentally have Batches misplace a piece there at the top. Misdrops again for Batches side. You know, Giga does have a bit of a better board state right now. The bottom, and Giga's trying to clean up their board right now. Giga looking to do some spinning, but does have to cancel though in the process. Batches that's a bit of a board advantage over Giga, but as I say that Giga does it, I mean Giga is able to find a way to make to turn it into a clean stack for them for her to utilize right now. But yeah. Batches needs to clean this right now, because Giga is now finding a way to pressure Giga. I mean, just oh my god, might be a bit tired, so bear with me. Oh yeah, Batches able to out pressure Gigawatt though, sending Giga to the top. That's gonna be another tie game. So far, Giga does have a good up stack that they're able to build off some T spins with, and they're still continuing to send surge. And with those misdraws from Batches, I don't think there was a way to get out of it. Even if they were able to get out of it, Giga has the surge ready to to get to send just all the way back up. What is Batches doing? Oh my gosh, dude. But I mean, it worked out for Batches in the end, able to find that skim option and and finish off the TSD to TSD and with the Tetris. That was a good spike from Batches. Oh, Giga misrotates the piece. Batches does have a good board state, but as I say that, they blocked off the well a little bit. It's gonna have to cancel. But they were still in control for them. Though Giga was pushed up at the top with an odd stack there. Tetris will take a 1-point lead. Uh, right now, Giga's at the top right now, but able to get out of it. Meanwhile, Botcha's not having a particular board, but able to turn it into something clean. However, Giga is going to to be able to send some garbage back. But oh, and Giga gets out of there just fine, like nothing ever happened. Right now, Giga back to the bottom, just looking to try to build off something. Now Giga is taking their time to try to build off the back to back, but isn't able to as they were pushed up at the top end. Oh no, that L misdrop from Giga's side that's gonna steal the deal for the round. So Bottas has a 2-point lead right now. So far, Giga now has the control of the board and able to utilize that clean opportunity and capitalize his mistakes. Cuts the lead just a little bit. Giga looking to fight up once again and possibly take the lead. So far, Batches has a bit of messiness, but so is Giga as well. Giga finding a way to pressure Batches just a little bit. But right now, Batches does have a better board state and is looking to build off Surge to be able to pressure Giga. But as we've seen before, Giga just like able to time perfectly to just retaliate in return. It's those things that we see before with Giga, like with good timing and good precision. I mean, no doubt that it will benefit in the end, as we've seen from that. But Botches is not looking to take any of Giga's timings and out pressures Gigawatt there with that misdrop from Gigawatt's side. So Botches continues on with the lead right now. And oh, gets pushed up a little bit at the top. Does that nice eye spin. That was really nice. Into that TSD with that looked like a C-spin triple setup. Giga finds the all clear, but Botches just is not. They didn't completely like. Botches is unfazed by it. I mean, able to survive it and just skim most of it away. But Giga right now is building off Surge, and right now Botches is a bit put up at the top, trying to build up some Surge of their own, and they will do so. Now Giga has to downstack from it because Botches did pressure Giga a lot right there. And now Botches has a bit of control with the board right now. Giga right now has some messiness to clean up and it is not really looking good right now. And oh no, that S piece was gonna be really troublesome for Gigawatt. And not just capitalizing off of it, takes the lead a bit by 2 points. Right now, Giga is setting up LST, and Oh, it didn't completely wipe off botches, but that was a nice LST surge attack from Gigawatt. Just able to survive it, and Batchers will try to find an opportunity to retaliate. Does find a bit of a skim option, and right now Batchers has some control over the board. Giga looking to try to have a bit of control of her board, but oh, and yeah, that put Giga off guard. Just just ready to send that all over to Giga. Now in tiebreaker, Giga's gonna have to come back 3 points to bring it back to Wait, did I just say tiebreaker? That match point, oh my god. But either way, um, just takes losers finals and will face off OSW once again. Ministry will be able to change it up this time against OSW. Right, we have seed 1 and seed 2 match once again. It's like last time. I mean, what we see from the advantage for batches is to keep consistency and basically continuing off surge whenever possible because they're really good with it. Like he's really good with it, and he's able to show it throughout the match against Giga and OSW from winners finals. We will see how they do. Again, OSW will try to use speed and efficiency to their advantage to be able to put the game away. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see. Other than that, as we see from Gigawatt before, I mean, it's it's possible. I mean, it's possible, especially since Gigawatt against UI Galaxy, a speedy player. No doubt that it's completely possible against OSW, another speedy player. It just depends on who is more consistent, who is more locked in, and has the better board state, but just more comfortable in the state of play. So right now we're just waiting for these two players to see if they're ready to go. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday so far. It's been a good time commentating. I mean, a bit tired. Something I was just you know we're here and we're ready to see grand finals. So you're to stay hydrated if you aren't already. Water is good for you. I'm sure you know. Maybe this is another warm-up game. So also, you're starting off with a bit of a mistake in such as finding a nice down stack and let's put OSW at the top, but OSW able to quickly get out of there. and yeah, and quickly able to s- match completed for the big deal. And, be able to see some this is a seed one versus seed two grand finals. That's sort of a bit expected. Players starting off with a good center well right now. Our Dodgers did accept a bit of garbage. OSW accepted some garbage as well, but OSW is looking to just quickly build some setups. See, risky point at the top. This is real right now. Bounce game back to the ground. Both players seem to have a bit of messiness, messy garbage on their boards. Top, top off botches. I give OSW the point. Oh, but well, it worked out. But I mean, Botches didn't opt for the TSS, but still finds a way back down. However, does have to act quick as OSW has a good, comfortable position ready. So road. So right now. So yeah. Also, he takes the point right now, and Abacha is having a big up stack, but does have to bail a little bit because OSW able to cancel a bit of Batch's stack a little bit, but Batches is still looking to build off Surge right now. Does cancel a little bit, and Batches with some horrible misdrops. So it just seemed like OSW was ready to just build off pressure with the stack they have right now. Yeah, with the misdrops, it's with the misdrop from Batch's side, it's gonna be a bit difficult. I know, and all right. I mean, we're going for the three wide. That's fair. I mean, it was a bit out of a three wide, but it's it didn't look really good as Batches would push up at the top, and OSW taking the opportunity to just pressure Batches there. OSW with a huge 4-point lead, looking to put the game away quickly. OSW building LST. Batches also building a bit of LST, but right now does look a bit risky, but able to cancel OSW's surge in time. And those misplacements from Batches side. OSW capitalizing off of it will give OSW the 5-point lead. Batches has yet to get on the board right now. And right now Batches is dealing with a little bit of missteps in the game so far. We'll see if they're able to fix it up. Because right now OSW does have um is more favorable in this grand finals right now. Botchers with some surge, but oh, just when I thought I said that they're gonna cancel a little bit, they do continue it though, and and built just enough to be able to cancel OSW surge. But right now, oh, but right now OSW is just able to counter it though. As soon as Batches sends his surge, OSW just have something ready to just retaliate and send it all back. Right now OSW having a good lead in grand finals. Batches has to get on the board and try to make a comeback, but oh, just when I thought that Batches was dead, was able to open up the well in time and send the pressure back to OSW, and now Batches is on the board. Needs 5 more to go to be able to tie it up. OSW was with a bit of an upstack again. Yeah, so far a bit. Oh, I was gonna say neutral, but yeah, with that messiness at the top that OSW was dealing with, it did have to. It OSW unfortunately blocked his lead piece, and yeah, OSW dealing with some early mess drops this round. And I should look at as an opportunity to just send PCs right now. Now, even though I think PCs are a bit weakened in season 2, it still helps though. I mean, it still helps it to be able to pressure a little bit, but it isn't like before where they just immediately push you at the top. So yeah, but unfortunately, Batch is dealing with some misdrops there at the top. It did look like there was no way to get up though. OSW was way at the bottom. And now OSW holds a 7-2 lead. And Batch is building an awkward center forward. Gonna have to bail though. And OSW is gonna try to take the opportunity to just send a bit of garbage and pressure to Batch's side. If if going for the center forward, yeah, you got to like plan it right, because it does seem like whenever Batches does the center forward, like often gets cut short, and that might lead to the other player having a bit of an advantage if they're able to have a comfortable board state ready. So far, Batches is at the bottom right now. OSW having to deal with some messiness, and right now Batches is just doing whatever they can to try to pressure OSW, but OSW with the side forward doesn't have the quad, unfortunately, but it was still a good side forward regardless. However, that's gonna cost OSW as they're pushed up at the top, but able to get out there just fine right now. But yeah, so far OSW, even despite OSW was able to get out, able to find a comfortable board state and just pressure Batches once more. OSW continuing on with the center forward. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what OSW's intention with the forward, but well, I mean, go for it. I know OSW. Oh my gosh, just quick skimming from OSW. Fortunately, it's not gonna do much. But is OSW gonna send a? What is OSW doing? So far, it's been back-to-back forwards for OSW. these games. I'm not sure if OSW is gonna stop it or is OSW just falling because now that was match point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. OSW just continue to build the four wide once again, and so has an opportunity to just it's an opportunity to just well, they did have the opportunity, but because of some problems with the bag, they weren't able to find a good good bag to be able to do the quad. But it was so good at the end. That was really funny. Big Stratosphere 127. GG's. GG's to all players. Yeah, what a good what a good way to end. I mean it's 11-2, and I mean batches with some with some like decisive options. Like it didn't seem like it didn't work out in his favor. Batches did the best they can to just try to build off surge, try to build off efficiency, a good stack. OSW was able to dominate. Some good games. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was my first time commentating after a while, so it was fun to commentate these games. A bit rusty though, but it's also fun to watch though, because. With that being said, we are looking for a raid. So yeah, thank you guys for watching Stratosphere 127. And there's still more to be had. Yes. There's still more Stratospheres to go, and if you're looking to qualify for TWC, I recommend checking out these weeklies as they're pretty more even though it's a silver and it might not be much points, it still take the opportunity to get some points and qualify. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see you next week for more Stratosphere. Also Radiant Saturday too. Stay tuned for more. Anyways, this has been Danny. Thanks for watching. See ya. Say hi to RJ. Yeah, definitely make sure to check out the Discord too.